Good evening. My name is Eileen Raposa. I live at 813 Meridian Street, and I'd like to state, just for the record, I understand the whole 3-minute issue, but I do have disabilities which sometimes prevent me from speaking everything at once. I'm going to do my best.
Okay.
I'm here about Davis Playground and Meridian Street. My neighbors and I went to a park board meeting for the first time on the 6th. The most pleasant meeting I have ever been to here at City Hall. I'd like to thank them very much for doing their job, researching public records and understanding what the deed for that playground clearly states, listening and respecting what the people who came before the board had to say. I've stated before the City Council for the last numerous years that all videos that were taken there were handed over to the proper authorities, being the police department and the district attorney's department. The Fall River Police Department has done an outstanding job as far as my neighborhood is concerned. They worked round the clock, no matter what time of the day or night I had to call them for issues that were going on there. They were always there. They did what needed to be done to clean that area up. We worked very hard in our neighborhood to keep it that way so everybody can come to that playground and feel safe. It's not just safe for us to come and say, no, you cannot come into my neighborhood. That's what my neighborhood is not about. I'd like to thank the police department, the fire department, the city inspector for meeting with the park board and agreeing with us what the deed states, what the safety issues are with that playground in the neighborhood. The last city council meeting, I was extremely offended and hurt over the words that came out of city council's mouth about people calling. As you can tell right now, when I call, I have a difficult time speaking. I find it extremely offensive and hurtful that I'm going to be made fun of over a phone call that I made to the city council and the city because I have issues, and it's misconstrued as being a NIMBY attitude and trying to stop people from going there. That's not what we are about. I'm blessed to live in a neighborhood that I live in. All of my neighbors, they're not my neighbors. These people are my family. That's how close we are.
You have 30 seconds left.
Motion to waive the rules.
Second.
Motion with rules and made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You can continue on. For how much money, how much time are we waiving for? Another 3
When we
minutes?
went before the city,
What's that?
As long as it takes.
Go ahead.
when we went before the city for the school, we had an awful lot of concerns because we lived there. We know what goes on. We know how the traffic is. We tried conveying to the city what our concerns were. All that was important was the school get built. It wasn't about us not wanting a school there. It was about what was going to happen. I have called the city. I have called Amarillo Bus Company because of the speeding on the street. School buses. And when I call Amarillo Bus Company, they say, well, how do you know the bus is speeding? I say, because there is an electronic speed sign out in front of my home. And that bus is full of students, and it's doing 46 miles an hour. And the one behind it was doing 58 in a 30 with children on the bus.
Wow.
That's not my kid on the bus. If I had a NIMBY attitude, I'd care less. But when that bus flips over in front of my home, because someone from the other side of the street is coming down, isn't going to want to wait for the school bus, that's a bad accident waiting to happen. If we didn't care, we wouldn't say anything. It's my understanding that the issue at Davis Playground is being referred to a subcommittee. After 32 years of going through this and coming before the city council and explaining over and over again what the deed says, what its purposes were for, we're now going to refer this to a subcommittee. As far as I'm concerned, that's just kicking the can down the road. It's wasting time, it's wasting taxpayers' money. Or you can do all the studies you want. Everything has been given to you for proof that these are the issues, they are legitimate concerns, not just for the neighborhood, but for the entire city, because we have people coming there who aren't just from Fall River. They're from Connecticut, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. That's what we cleaned up there, and the Fall Police Department cleaned up there. They cleaned up an area where people thought it was okay to come and molest a child out in front of my home. That's on video. That's what's given to the DA. I am not going to give my videos to be shown in a public forum. They went to the proper authorities, and they did their job. I understand why people don't want to get involved in their neighborhoods. And they say, well, we can't trust the city, we can't trust the government. Nothing gets done. If you don't come before the people and you don't constantly stay on it, nothing is going to get done. That's, it's a shame. But I can guarantee you that's not going to happen on Meridian Street because we care about our neighborhood. We care about the people that come in it. I have people that come from all over the city to use that playground. I meet them all. I have snacks for their kids. I have treats for their dogs. I don't have a pet anymore. I still have treats for their dogs. I had a girl show up at my house last year who's been coming since she was little, just learning how to walk. She came to my house last year, didn't recognize her. I said, who are you? She said, I used to come here every day with my father. I wanted to let you know I'm in college now. If we had a NIMBY attitude, they wouldn't come knock at my door. I had to put up a no trespassing sign on my tree so people wouldn't come in my yard, because they're coming in my front yard, they're picnicking on my front yard, they're doing whatever they want in my front yard, they're breaking my fence, they're urinating all over the place. When they go in the playground and there's no bathrooms back there, where do you think they're going? They're taking it and they're throwing it over my fence. Now, I hear they want to put pickleball and golf and everything back there.
May I, Councilor Kamara?
Nobody said that.
I know you're doing a great job articulating what you'd like.
Now, I understand there's an ordinance in the city that golfing is illegal in the playground. This is what I get when I go out in my backyard. I have golf balls flying at my head. Do you understand what our frustration is?
Just want to say a point of clarification. No one ever spoke about golf for that part, just so you know.
Or pickleball,
There
or
was-
football.
there was-
Oh,
I mentioned frisbee golf, which is playing with a frisbee, completely different. But again, what the councilors mentioned at the last meeting were just ideas that was thrown out there in a session like this. There was no meeting that was held to pinpoint exactly what that park would be used for. So I just want to make it clear. But you are well beyond the time allowed. Do you want to continue? Do you want to wrap it up?
I would like to ask every board and every committee in this city, everybody knows it's the lady on Meridian Street. So when you're having your meetings and your board meetings to discuss what you want to do in a neighborhood, our neighborhood is willing to listen. As long as we are respected and our input is respected and heard. We should not have to watch a city council meeting on TV of people being made fun of. My daughter heard that.
Yeah, I don't recall
And
anyone
she
being made
knew
fun
it
of,
was
but
me they were talking about.
Thanks for coming.
thank you so much. Next, we have Betty Calhoun, subject matter, Meridian Street, Davis Park.